Hello, this video is sponsored by Mavio. I am Libraries. Today, we are going to tackle the most critical skill in clinical data science. It is not working Python code or running SQL queries. It's called translation. Basically, your job is to tackle a brilliant clinical hunch, something a doctor says in the hallway, and translate it to computational logic. We call this process PICOTS framing, and it is the blueprint we use for querying a database. A simple question, the challenge. It's always start with a simple question. If you work in a hospital or you are surrounded by them, a doctor might ask, does this new drug work? Or why are these heart failure patients returning to the... These questions are intuitive, they are human, but they are nightmare for a computer. Okay, here is the problem. Computers are literals. They cannot answer the questions. Did the patient get better? Because computers doesn't know what better words mean, basically. Like human beings know why they are asking these questions, but computer only understand the literals like 0 1 language. That's the problem. Your job is to build a bridge. You have to translate that vague clinical curiosity into a strict rules, inclusion and exclusion criteria that a computer can understand, like what are moving from medical English to data logic. That's what we can solve. To build that bridge, we use a tool called PICOTS. You may have seen this used in clinical research designed to structure trials, but in this course, we use PICOTS as the blueprint for querying the database. Think of this as your checklist. If you cannot fill out these 6 boxes, you are not ready to write code. PICOTS framework is basically, PICOTS stands for what? It stands for P for population, I for intervention, C for comparators, O for outcomes, T for timing, and S for settings. It is a framework that forces us to be specific. Let's walk through them one by one. First is P. P for population. The clinical sees a crowd of people and says, I want to look at patients with heart failure. But as a data scientist, you need a coherent definition. How do we identify them in the electronic health record? Is it an ICD-10 diagnosis code? Or is it just a specific lab value, like an injection fraction under 40%? The warning: if you define your population based on something written in a PDF note, like a patient seems fatigued, okay, it is very hard to query. We want structured data here. And intervention, next is I for intervention. The clinical says we prescribe the metformin, okay. You have to ask, what is the feature of interest? Did the doctor just order the drug? Did the insurance company pay for it claims data? Or did the nurse actually administer it for the administration? These are 3 different tables in the database. In data science, our definitions must be precise, usually a binary, 0 or 1. Did the event happen or not? Third one, C. C is for comparator, okay. This is a real world data gets messy. It is controlled trial. You have a placebo group. In the real world, data is noisy. If you compare sick people taking a drug to healthy people taking nothing, your model will be biased. You need to define a control group that looks similar to your intervention group. This is crucial for fair comparison. And the fourth one is O. O is for outcome. Clinicals ask, this, did they improve or did they die? You need a target variable. We need a computable phenotype. Improvement is subjective. A data scientist needs a proxy we can measure, like readmission within 30 days, HbA1c drop greater than 1%, or if it isn't recorded in a column, it didn't happen. T is for timing. We need to anchor our data. We need an index date, usually day 0, when the drug started. We also need observation window. How far back do we look for history, and how importantly do we have follow-up date for 2 years, or did the patient switch insurance and disappear? setting. Okay, S is for setting. This refers to data provenance. Where did the data come from? Data from a billing system is generated to get paid. It might be exaggerated. Data from a bedside monitor in the ICU is raw psychological truth. Context changes the quality of your data. So you have designed your PICOTS. It's usually perfect on paper. Now comes the hardest part, the feasibility check. Okay. We have to move from the theoretical concept to the actual reality. Okay. We have a perfect plan, but what happens when it hits the actual database? In a clinical trial, feasibility means can we recruit patients? In a clinical data science feasibility is does the data exist or is it usable? You need to teach yourself to ask three questions before you start a project. These three questions are: is the data available? Is it complete? Is it in a format a computer can read? These three ones, okay? Availability, completeness, and quality. Let's look at three major hurdles that kill project. Availability, what availability means? Availability means can we link the data? Completeness, are the fields empty? Okay. For example, if you want to study obesity, is BMI actually recorded for 90% of the patient, or do nurses skip it? And quality is about like is it structured? If you want to study worsening cough, that lives in free text notes unless you have NLP. That variable is inaccessible. Data should be in structured form basically. That we can use in our project. Okay, here we discuss our case study. Let's apply this to a real scenario. Imagine a doctor comes to you and says, I started sending text messages, reminders to my diabetic patient. I think it's working. Can you prove it? Can you prove it reduces their blood sugar? Let's look at the data flow. The text message lives in a third party API. The outcomes live in the EHR. EHR means electronic health record. These are separate silos, okay? The apps and EH are separate. Can we link the data? That's the major question. We need to know, does the SMS app recorded the patient's medical record number, or does it only list cell phone numbers? Here is a broken bridge. If the apps only have phone numbers and the hospitals only have medical record numbers, the bridge is broken. We can't link the intervention to the outcome. The study is not feasible here. Hurdle number 2 is completeness. The doctor wants to know if blood sugar improved at exactly 6 months, but are patients predictable? The answer is no. Patients come late. They miss appointments, okay? If we require lab results at exactly the 6-month mark, we might lose 90% of our patients. Okay. The ones with the red axis, to fix this, we have to change our T timings. Okay. We create a window. We accept any lab result between 4 and 8 months. Okay. We trade precision for sample size, like this one. We create a window basically. This brings us to the end. We have moved from vague idea, filtered it through PICOTS, and tested it with feasibility. We transformed the original dream, does SMS help diabetics, into a specific answerable question. Look at our final query. It's no longer vague. Does a time-stamped SMS log basically intervention correlate with the HbA1c reduction? That's the outcome in patients with ICD-10 code E11. That's the population. This is a question a computer can actually answer. So I leave you with this thought. What simple question in your world gets complicated when you actually look at the data? Thank you so much. I hope you understand this.